Encounter 1. Daylight sighting and footprint photo near Lake Esler, submitted March 23, 2013. Date of encounter June 24, 2012. Location near Deerhead Lake and Lake Esler, Beaverhead County, Montana. Nearest town, Argentienta. Nearest road, Highway 278. In the fall of 2012, a witness and 3 others came across what appeared to be a massive footprint in the mud, just 500 yards from a high mountain lake near Deerhead Lake. A photo was taken to document the unusual print. The witness, who had seen a Sasquatch in the same area 3 years earlier, believed he knew what made the track. Though brief, the encounter left a lasting impression. It occurred around 10:30 a.m. under clear conditions. This incident adds to a series of sightings reported in the rugged terrain of southwestern Montana, where the wilderness often seems to hold more than just wildlife. Encounter 2. Late Night Road. Encounter near Decker, submitted January 13, 2007. Date of encounter October 2006. Location Old Town Site of Decker, Bighorn County, Montana. Nearest road, Decker Highway. A nighttime drive turned unsettling for JG, a shuttle driver assigned to move railroad crews in rural Montana. While alone on the road near the now relocated town of Decker, JG spotted a tall figure walking along the roadside. Initially thinking it was a pedestrian, he quickly realized this was something different. The creature crossed in front of his van, forcing him to brake suddenly. It never made eye contact but did glance over its shoulder, revealing a body covered in long groomed hair. Under the headlights, facial features were indiscernible, but its sway as it moved was unforgettable. The next day, JG returned in daylight to measure the scene. Using surrounding landmarks, he estimated the creature stood at least 8 feet tall. Though he found no physical evidence like tracks or hair, the image of the figure stayed with him. He later admitted he carried a digital camera at the time, but was too shocked to use it. Encounter 3. Figure caught sitting by creek near Red Lodge, submitted July 13, 2012. Date of encounter June 30th, 2012. Location Carbon County, Montana, near Red Lodge. While hiking in the remote, heavily forested mountains outside Red Lodge, a visitor took what he thought was just a scenic photo of a creek. Only later, while reviewing pictures from the day's hike, did he notice something unnerving. What looked like a black figure sitting by the creek's edge, appearing to watch them. He returned days later with his father to the same spot. The area where the figure had been was empty, but newly broken branches were evident near the bank. More photos were taken, including one with his father sitting in the exact position. The contrast was striking. Whatever had been there that day was gone, but it left behind a trail of questions. The photo was taken around 9 a.m. under a clear, shaded canopy of pine trees. The witness later expressed a desire to share the images with researchers to confirm their authenticity. Encounter 4. Mysterious noises and smells. Around a remote cabin, submitted March 31, 1999. Date of encounter spring, early 1980s. Location Dearborn River area, Cascade County, Montana, about 40 miles south of Great Falls. In a secluded mountain area accessible only by snowmobile or 4x4, 4 friends were spending the night in a remote cabin. Late at night, a foul odor filled the air, described as nearly unbearable. It was soon followed by strange, loud, warbling noises that circled the cabin. One of the witnesses, the submitter's aunt, managed to record the sounds on a portable tape recorder. However, the tape was never analyzed. No alcohol or drugs were involved, and the group had no power, running water, or outside contact. The event took place in a conifer-heavy forest around 5,000 feet in elevation. The nearest inhabited property was 3 miles away, reinforcing the mystery of what or who was out there making such inhuman sounds in the dark. Encounter 5. Possible sighting and wood knocks in the Swan Valley. Submitted November 1st, 2007. Date of encounter October 30th, 2007. Location Flathead County, Montana, near Swan Lake. While hunting in District 130 off Highway 83, a man experienced something he couldn't explain. Separated from his hunting partners, he began hearing repeated knocking noises coming from the pine forest to his right. Thinking it might be a woodpecker, he investigated, but the sound was too loud and rhythmic. Later, while walking through a ravine filled with fallen trees, the knocking stopped abruptly. Then, a short while later, he heard what he believed to be an elk call, but his hunting partners never heard it, even though one was only half a mile away. After listening to a recording of whoops and knocks from California, the man became convinced that what he had heard in the woods was something else entirely. It was his first time hunting in the area. He left with more questions than answers, and a new awareness of how wild Montana's forests can truly be. Encounter 6. Daylight sighting on Crane Mountain. Submitted June 12, 2019. Date of encounter June 12, 2019. Location Flathead County, Montana, Crane Mountain Road, near Ferndale. At 12:35 p.m. on a clear spring day, a driver ascending Crane Mountain caught sight of a black creature moving quickly up a steep hillside. At first, the witness assumed it was a black bear, but as he neared the spot where the figure had crossed, he looked up and froze. What he saw wasn't on all fours. It was bipedal, striding powerfully up the incline. The creature stopped after about 70 yards, turned to look directly at the vehicle, then vanished over the ridge. It was completely covered in jet black hair, which glinted brass or copper when struck by sunlight. The speed was astonishing. What took the witness over a minute to climb on foot had taken the creature only about 8 seconds. 2 years prior, another man reported a similar sighting on the same mountain. Encounter 7. Rock thrown at vehicle after exploring old mines. Submitted June 12, 2019. Date of encounter August 22, 2010. Location Granite County, Montana, Racetrack Lake Road, north of Georgetown. Lake around 4 p.m. On a warm summer afternoon, a man driving back from exploring abandoned gold mines near Georgetown Lake had a startling encounter. As he navigated a rough, forested back road, a rock came flying from the right side of the woods and slammed into the roof of his FJ Cruiser. The impact left a dent, and the rock tumbled down the hillside. Thinking someone was playing a prank, or worse, he stopped and jumped out. But instead of a person, he caught a glimpse of a large, dark creature disappearing uphill into the trees. He stood stunned. No way, he thought. It couldn't be. Yet the dent in his roof remained, and the silence that followed in the pine woods was deafening. Whether human or something else, whatever had thrown that rock had serious strength and a perfect aim. Encounter 8. Close encounter by a creek near White Sulphur Springs. Submitted August 19, 2012. Date of encounter May 29, 2010 or 2011. Location Meagher County, Montana, Sheep Creek near Jumping Creek Campground. While camping alone in the Little Belt Mountains, a man headed out to fish on Sheep Creek, a lush, water-rich area thick with pine forest and beaver dams. As he stood near the bank, a movement across the creek caught his attention. There, standing upright, was a reddish-brown humanoid figure. It appeared to be washing berries before locking eyes with the witness, then bolting into the trees. The creature's hair was matted, and the witness had a strong impression it was female. Earlier that day, he'd noticed an unpleasant smell, like winter kill, lingering in the air. It lingered just long enough to raise his suspicions before the creature appeared. Years before, as a child, he had camped on the other side of the same mountain range and heard similar stories. Now he had one of his own. Encounter 9. Eyes in the timber. Close encounter on a hunting trail near Bowles Creek. Submitted December 26, 2005. Date of encounter September 11, 1991. Location Ravalli County, Montana. Bowles Creek in the Deer Lodge. Anaconda Pintlers, Wilderness. Nearest town Hamilton or Darby. In the remote dark timber of the Montana backcountry, a seasoned elk hunting guide found himself in a situation that decades of experience couldn't have prepared him for. It was fall, prime hunting season, and the guide was leading a horse down a narrow game trail along a ridge in the Bowles Creek area. The forest here was ancient, thick, and silent, except for the creak of saddle leather and the occasional call of distant birds. The day was ending, and the trail was wrapped in the dim light just before sunset. As they descended, the guide's horse, a trail-hardened animal, began to grow restless. He could feel the breeze shifting slightly, carrying something unseen down through the trees. Then, about 75 yards along the path, the horse stopped cold. Its ears locked forward, nostrils flared. Something was watching them. To the left, not more than 25 to 30 feet away, a massive root ball from a fallen pine tree jutted from the earth. And behind it, partially crouched, was something else. A figure. From the waist up, it loomed behind the roots. Tall, powerful, and covered in shaggy hair 6 to 8 inches long. Not an ape, not a bear. The creature had a human-like face, wide-set eyes, broad features, and an expression of stunned awareness. It was looking at him, eye to eye. And in that moment, both man and beast were frozen. He had a rifle within reach, but he dared not move. The distance was too close. Any sudden action could provoke something he wasn't prepared to face. He slowly continued riding past, heart pounding so loud it seemed to echo off the timber. The creature did not follow. It simply watched, almost as if assessing him the same way he was assessing it. The guide never saw it again. But the image, those eyes staring out from the root ball at sunset in the stillness of that pine forest, never left him. Years later, he still recalled the encounter vividly and said that if the opportunity and resources ever presented themselves, he would return to Bowles Creek to find it again. He wasn't sure what it was, but he knew what it wasn't.